All right, this is our last thing that we're going to be talking about right now. I lied, I have one more video. But this is one of the last things we're going to talk about right now is unit conversions. So unit conversions are where we're going to be using basically a unit rate to help us figure out the relationship between two different measurements, units of measurement. So we're going to use this example that is actually on page, let's take a look. This is actually on page 23 of your packet, okay? So if you want to take a look at that, go ahead. That's where I got this problem from. It says Hannah needs 78 inches of ribbon to make a picture frame. She knows that there are 60 inches in 5 feet. How many feet of ribbon are in 78 inches? So I'm going to show you two different ways. You can use a double number line. I know how much you love them and you remember them from module 1. Okay. A double number line is a really great way for you to kind of see what's happening. What we see is that they went ahead and they showed that 60 inches are in 5 feet. So we can see that, you can see that right here, right? 60 inches is in 5 feet. That's what they put right here on this number line, right? There's the 60 inches at the bottom, there's the 5 feet at the top. Those two things they're saying are equivalent, right? What's on the top and what's on the bottom of my double number line are equivalent. So what they did after that was they said, okay, well, if I know, they basically used a unit rate where they said, well, if I know that 60 inches is equivalent to 5 feet, then I'm going to figure out, right? I know that if I divide both of these by 5, if I find my unit rate, they're at 12 inches and 1 foot. Now, you can solve for that, right, by dividing, or you might just already know that, and that's okay too. Okay, where we see that right here, right? The 12 inches is equivalent to the 1 foot right there. So you might already know that, but that's okay. You can also solve for it. Now we're going to use that information. It says, well, how many feet are in 78 inches? Okay, well, if I know that there are 78 inches and I'm trying to go from inches to feet, right? There are more inches, right? 12 inches than the 1 foot. So if I'm going from this bigger number and I'm trying to go to a smaller number that's a bigger unit, I know that's kind of hard to think about, right? But it's a bigger number, lots of inches in the 1 foot. So I actually am going to divide, right? There's 78 inches divided by the 12 inches in 1 foot. If I divide that, I would get 6 1/2, right? Or they can count by 12s like they did here. You use their double number line. Well, in 2, there's 24, 3, there's 36, right? They went up by 1 foot and up by 12 inches. That's how they got it. And they know that in between 6 and the 7 is where they're going to find that 78 inches. You can see that right here between 74 and 80, or 72 and 84. So they said, well, it's exactly in the middle of 72 and 84. So it must be exactly in the middle of 6 and 7, which is how they got the 6 1/2. Or you can use some thinking and you can just divide, right? So you can look at the visual of your double number line and you can count by 12s and count by 1s, right? Use that unit rate. Or you can just do some math over here and you can say, well, I know that there's 78 inches and I know there's 12 inches per foot. So when I divide, I get 6 1/2 feet. Okay. Now, if conversely, if we were told that if we wanted to know, okay, well, how many inches are in 9 feet of ribbon, right? How many inches is that? Okay, I would have to do the opposite. Well, this is 9 feet, and there's 12 inches in 1 foot, right? And if I have 9 of those feet, then I'm kind of doing the opposite, where now I'm multiplying, right? 9 feet times 12 inches in 1 foot gives me 108. Man, y'all, I should know my 12, shouldn't I? 108, that's what I thought. But I thought I was going to say it wrong. 108. Okay, 108 inches. So if you're going from the lots of inches into smaller feet, really you need to divide. If you're going from feet to inches, that bigger measurement to the smaller one, you end up needing to multiply, which is kind of the opposite of what you would think, but that's what we need to do mathematically. Okay, I want you to pause, and I want you now to tell me, answer both of these questions on the screen, and I did give you a hint in the bottom of both of those that should help you. So pause your video, and I want you to solve these. All right, so hopefully you did that, and I'm gonna go ahead and solve. How many inches are in 5 yards? Right, 5 yards is the bigger measurement here, and I know that in just 1 yard, there's 36 inches. So I, in this case, am going to multiply, right? Because if I have 1 yard with 36, that's 36 inches 5 times. So I am multiplying by the 36, right? 36 inches per the 1 yard is really what it is, right? That's the ratio that I'm doing. So when I multiply straight across here, I get 5 times 36, which I need to use my calculator for because I don't have that in my head. And I should get 180. Okay, you should have gotten 180. Now, this should be inches. Okay, remember we're going from yards to inches. Now the second one, how many gallons are in 24 cups? Well, 24 cups is the smaller measurement, right? Cups are smaller than gallons. So I am now doing the opposite where I'm dividing. I'm dividing up my cups into gallons. So I'm going to divide by, it says in 1 gallon there are 16 cups. So I'm going to divide by the 16 cups per 1 gallon. And when I divide those, I end up getting 1.5 gallons. So if I were to split up my 24 cups into gallons, right, like you go and buy a gallon of milk from the store, I would get 1.5 gallons of whatever it is that you're splitting up, milk, juice, I have no idea, okay? So that's unit conversions. We're basically using unit rates in order to convert.